welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J 1999, your host and part of the RSG crew. Welcome everybody to the show. If you're new to the lunch stream and wondering what the hell is this is where we hang out with you wonderful folks for the next hour or so, and we'll do a roster review. We'll answer your questions, and we'll let madness ensue like it always does. If you do have a question, go ahead and put those in the chat right now, and we will get to all the questions. We usually get through all the questions. Sometimes we don't, but most of the times, 95% of the time, I'd say we get to all the questions. So if you do have a question, make sure you put the question in the chat. Put the word question in front of your statement so we know that it is an actual question. It makes it hard sometimes when it's not like that to collect these questions because you don't use proper punctuation, all that other stuff. So let's just do it that way. Make it easier on us with the software we use to scoop up your questions. Glad to have everybody here. Hope everybody is recovering from Monday and the weekend. It's Tuesday. It's time to get rocking and rolling, and I brought along some of my favoriteest people of the RSG crew to help ensure that the madness continues. First of all, we have the solus one himself, Mr. Gingivitis, Saline Red, who will be monitoring the chat and scooping up your questions. What's going on, Gingivitis?
Not too much, man. Good.
Oh my God! Every damn time. Jesus, my ears. Oh my God. Oh.
Isn't that bad?
Oh my God.
Still?
Oh God. Oh Jesus.
Okay.
Now it's fine. Why? Also joining us is the one and only Grim the Mechanic.
Huh? I can't hear you.
What? I said Grim.
Huh?
Grim.
Flanhugenwagen.
And all that other French stuff. Also joining us, who is not French, is the one and only Xylo Takedown.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
That's right. How are your ears?
Screaming. It's like God goes and wakes you up. Good morning.
Oh Lord, thou hast blowneth thou eardrums up and smited us with thou sound. And then Dr. Finn should be here soon. He's in a meeting. Is he here or is he still in his meeting? He didn't respond, so he must be in his meeting still. So welcome to the show. As usual, get through the mechanisms real quick, and then we'll get into the roster review. If you like what you see, make sure you give us a thumbs up on the video. It helps us get our content out to the YouTube world. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Obviously, you love what you're listening to, and if you want to know when we're streaming live, and we do a lot of live streaming, well, then it behooves you to subscribe, and then you can know when we're live streaming. You know, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I think that's science right there, guys. I think that's solid science right there that you should be doing.
Rocket surgery is hard.
I'm blinded by science.
That's right. And look, everybody.
She blinded me with science.
Oh, God, don't start that crap, Finn. I haven't had enough coffee this morning.
The dill hole is here.
He is here. Look, everybody, it's Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman.
Hi.
Did you see the new Pokemon trailer, Dr. Finn?
No, I did not.
Oh my God, you'll love it, Finn. Oh my God,
Finn's going to cream his dreams.
Ouchie posted it in the Discord, but I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's #1 trending on YouTube. It's hilarious. Detective Pikachu.
Well then, I have to go and try to catch it.
Yeah.
Pikachu.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got everybody here. Everybody's introduced. Everyone knows each other. Great. Okay, let's do this. It is now time for our roster review. Today we are doing Darth Teflon's profile, and they are Knights of Mandalore. And what are they looking for there, Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman?
Nice, another Dark Lords guild.
Is it?
No, not really.
Okay, I don't know. There's so many. I've lost track.
I'm watching Detective Pikachu.
That's not Darth. It's not Dark Lords.
Okay. So Dr. Finn, what are they?
It will be soon, though.
What are we?
I'm watching Detective Pikachu. Hold on.
Resistance is futile.
I was told to watch Detective Pikachu.
You didn't have to watch it right this second, dumbass. We can.
How can you tell me about Pokemon and then expect me not to watch it immediately?
God, Jesus.
He's trying to attack him with the stapler. Oh my God.
All right, I will.
It's Deadpool Pikachu.
Yes.
Pikachu! Like the greatest thing ever.
All right,
He's fuzzy! Oh my god. Pikachu's so fuzzy.
All right, so why?
Pika, Pika!
God.
He was like the greatest thing ever. Okay.
All right,
All right.
I'll read this out since Dilholfin is busy getting his fluff on. So Darth Teflon is looking for a general look at my roster, plus both the Arena team and Heroic Sith Raid for more P2 and who to gear up next, please, and who.
Who he should work on after the Old Republic. I'm done watching Detective Pikachu. I love his little hat.
Okay. All right. So the first thing is general look at his roster and his arena team. So his arena team, we don't have any Darth Treya. I don't know if he has her. Probably not. Let's just go to Sith. I mean, the arena team he's running is fine. It just doesn't have Darth Treya. Let's look here.
No, he does not have Darth Treya, but he's on a 136 mil GP guild, which makes me think that he should be coming close, I think, to
Yeah.
getting Treya. I mean, close meaning they should have Heroic Sith on farm, I would imagine, and then obviously depends on when they got it. I would probably expect another 2 months or so. I don't know if he's in the chat or not, but yeah.
So we don't have Treya, and we don't have any idea, but I'm sure he's working towards that. So, Darth Teflon, I mean, you're just going to have to hold your head above water. I think the team you're running is fine. Unfortunately, without Revan or Treya, you're kind of, the team you're running is the most ideal team. Maybe someone wants to look at the mods, see if there's any issue with mods there, but it doesn't look so. They're all gear 12. You're running FS with Thrawn, Palpatine, Nihilist, Scion.
So there is a team that you can run as an anti-Revan, but it's a lot more RNG based, and that's the Night Sisters with Barris.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if
He's in chat now.
Oh, okay, good. He's in chat. So let's see.
He
says 6 weeks away. Yeah, so that's what I figured. So by the end of the year, you should have Treya. So make sure you're farming the gear and everything in order to push Treya up immediately. But one of the potential counters to Revan, and it's not like the greatest one, but it is Night Sisters with Barris against Revan. Now, I don't know if you want to go in that direction. You have a Zeta Barris, which is good. Let's see where all of his Night Sisters are too. You can potentially also use Night Sister Spirit, but your Night Sister Spirit's only 5-star and not ready, and your zombies only gear 10, which is, while that's what you need for the ability, is probably not enough against a Revan team, because it will die too quickly from damage from somebody like Yoda, and will just end up with like 0 speed and becoming kind of useless. So I mean, so if you're worried about Revan and you're trying to find a counter, you pretty much only have one of the counter teams available to you right now, and that is the Night Sisters with Barris. And it's Asajj, Daka, Talzin, Zombie, and Barris. You have a Zeta Barris, which is good. You're basically just going super, super high health. Yeah, I mean, that's your one alternative, but it's not honestly a happy alternative. So just something to throw out there. Yeah, if you're looking
your
for
best bet is just to keep your head above water, do what you can.
Yeah, focus for the next 2 months or 2 months on getting all the gear that you can for Treya.
I'm looking for Chewbacca. He's 5 stars. However, I did see his boss has a Zeta now and stuff. So that's a character you'll be able to finish up. That'll help you out with your Rebel team. That's the one other legendary besides Revan. And then let's look at your Old Republic real quick, where we're seeing on those. Let's see here. Come on, GG. Jesus. looking pretty damn solid on the Old Republic. Missions done. Zalbar 6 stars, T3 6 stars, Jolie 6 stars, Basilisk 7 stars. So, yes, you are very, very much almost done with those characters. So, great job on those. Um, so, Old Republic will be fine. So, you're going to be in a good position here whenever the Chewie and the Revan event comes back. Let's just look at your bounty hunters just to make sure. Because I did see the Zeta on boss. Okay, boss is 6 stars, so we got to finish boss to 7. And then you're going to need to get gear 11 on, I don't care, Greedo and Dengar, yes. The other 5th one that you want to do, if you want to just do IG-88, yes. But as long as they're all gear 11, with the Zeta boss, you'll have your 7-star Chewie, which is going to be a great thing for you as well. You may want to consider, on top of Treya, the thing is, for Chewie, between Chewie and Revan, that is, and let's just say, a crap ton of Carbantes. So you got some big farms and stuff to go with.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, yeah. So looking solid for both those. So you're going to have the characters ready to rock and roll basically for when those two events come around. So I think you're looking good there. Let's finish those up, and then I think we should be good to go. So so that's kind of your priority or your farm. What else did he want us to look at, Finn? So we looked at kind of his arena. There's not much we can do there until he gets Treya. He doesn't have Revan, so he's just kind of have to do the best he can with what he has for right now for arena with all the Treyas and Revans running around arena right now. What's the next thing he wanted us to look at? I think he said Sith Raid?
Yep, phase 2 Sith teams.
All right, so let's see what you do have. General Kenobi, he has...
Wampa Wampa's only 6 stars, so
Damn
once
it.
you get 7-star, then you have that. But
yeah, you got the Wampa.
no Wampa Wampa yet.
What about Hermit Yoda?
Hermit Yoda's 7-star.
Good. Gear 10, so you
And
gotta get into Gear 11.
Rebels, so he has Princess Leia 7-star. He has Akbar 7-star. So, could you? Yeah, I mean, you're basically looking at Machine Gun Leia. And so you're looking at Akbar, Leia.
Well, he could do Sith. He doesn't have Treya, but he could do Sith.
Well, yeah. I'm saying in terms of his big damage dealer, right? So the big 2 damage dealers right now, outside of like the Jedis, and I don't think he has high enough Jedi. Let me just double check. No, he has a 7-star Bastila.
Yeah, he could go the Bastila, Hermit Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda, General Kenobi, Ezra.
Yeah. I think that would be one of your big teams, would be the Jedi.
And then
you would use your Hermit Yoda, right? But you would be able to recover him, so you'd have to make sure he comes back, but you're going to lose your Kenobi, which means then when you're looking at a Machine Gun Leia team, it'll be Akbar, Leia, Hermit Yoda, and then you're looking at 2 tanks that are not not Rebels. And so when you're looking at, let me see what tanks you have that are non-rebel. I mean, you could. So it depends on how you want to split your teams. Let me look at his Sith before we put that team. So he has Emperor Palpatine, Vader, Scion, Nihilus, and Sith Trooper. Yeah, you could potentially put Sith Trooper on the Machine Gun Leia team. And so it's Akbar, Leia, Hermit Yoda, Sith Trooper, and then you would use a Shore Trooper. So that would be one potential team. And then another one, after that, you could use your Sith, and it would be Emperor Palpatine, Vader, Scion, Nihilus, and Hermit Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be another team. And then you have, I think your First Order are also ready. So if we look at your First Order, you have a solid First Order team as well. So Kylo Ren on Mask, Kylo Ren, First Order Executioner, First Order Officer, and First Order Stormtrooper. You have a First Order team as well. So you have a few teams you can run. I think 3 of them in the end were reliant on having Hermit Yoda. So just something to make sure that you're recovering Hermit Yoda after each of those battles. But you should be good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Um. Then phase 3 is Chex Mix. He's got CLS. He's got Han. I know he has Death Trooper. Church 12-star. So we just need another attacker on that. You know.
How I'm gonna take
Pow
a quick.
is Gear 10, 7-star. So there you go.
Well, how are his speeds? I just want to make sure his speeds are okay. I mean, so if you're gonna try and maximize for the Sith raid, including phase 3, like you have to change some of your mods. You have a crit chance triangle on Han. That needs to become a crit damage triangle immediately. And if we look at your Death Trooper is a 179 speed, which is perfectly fine. You're right where you need to be with that. Your Chirrut is 224 speed, which is good. You do have a lot of health on him. So again, if you're trying to like really optimize, now Chirrut has other purposes as well. He's good on territory wars, both offense and defense. So if you're using him there, you can change that around. But remember that you do want to have them as high in terms of offense and physical damage as possible, because that's what carries over with the standalone. So then the last one, how was this POW?
7-star Gear 10.
Oh, perfect. So you're good there as well, and speed looks okay. So yeah, all your speeds look okay. The only thing I would change on your Han, change that triangle. You have to get a crit damage triangle on him, otherwise you're wasting that. Crit chance is one of the worst in terms of just pure damage. There is some that benefit from having crit chance because of abilities. For example, the resistance under Jedi Training Ray, so you can get some more exposes. Characters like Lando and Snowtrooper that get benefits from critting, right? They have a benefit for it. But in general, crit chance triangle is not going to provide you the most damage. It's either crit damage or it's offense. And in general, crit damage triangle, regardless, is better than offense. Sometimes offense set is better than crit damage, and the cutoff rate is somewhere around like 55, I think. It's somewhere between 50 to 60%. I've seen different things. I think Skeltrix made a video that showed it was 60. Again, I haven't had a chance to calculate it. I've been too busy. I've actually been too busy to do math, which is kind of sad. But in any case, it's somewhere in that general range. So if you have a high crit chance, and Han does because he gets a bonus as well with his Never Tell Me the Odds, then you're better off with crit damage. So just change around that mod really quick to optimize.
Did I hear you say you've been too busy to do math?
I know. Isn't it sad? I've been too busy to do math. It makes me sad. I haven't had time between the ACS stuff and then like doing all the streams and then trying to stay awake through Evil Apples, and I fell asleep to that yesterday again. Like there's just too much going on.
It's a hard knock life for Finn. And we'll do some more
It's a hard knock life for me.
He's
it's a hard knock crap.
It's
for
Finn.
Me.
All right, Night Sisters for phase 4 look fantastic. All gear 11. I mean, Zombra's gear 10, but that's fine. That's where you need her to be. Has the 2 Zetas on Asajj and the one on Mother Talzin. Let's see, 11. Yep. So good to go on the Night Sisters. I mean, if you want to get more damage, just increase their gear to 12. I've got all my Night Sisters that I'm using to gear 12, and that's just the easiest team to get a buttload of damage in phase 4. I mean, there's no team competes with the Night Sisters. It's ridiculous. I don't even try and I get 4 million. Not even try. You know, sometimes I get like 3 million and I'm not even trying. You know, it's just the team that it's like it Night Sisters take care of themselves in phase 4, and you've got the team that you need. So overall, you've got the teams you need for all the different phases and things that you can use them for. I mean, I even saw a Visas Mar, if I'm not mistaken. She was gear 11, 7-star. Go back and look here, because that's a team.
She is with the Zeta.
Yeah, so you can use her for the JTR team, not even dick around with your Hermit Yoda, and you're good to go, homie. So you're really good for the Sith raid team out giving. Those are just some of the recommendations that we've seen, but yeah, you're looking good. Yeah. All right. What else do we need to look at? Dr. Finn Dilhole.
Hey. Alright. So, next is who he should gear up and who he should farm after Old Republic.
You could work on getting your Night Sisters to 12. You can work on your bounty hunters to get them to gear 11. Um, you said First Order was fine. You're at that point
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you
he
can.
has a whole set of gear 11.
So you really, at
First
this
Order.
point, you can pick a team. You're at that phase now where you should start taking folks to 12.
Bounty hunters.
Well, bounty hunters you can get to gear 11, but pick
Mhm.
one, and I would go past gear 11. I would go gear 12, because you're at that stage, my friend, where the teams you've got are really good. But if we want to take them to that next level, let's start getting them to 12. You've got some gear 12s on your characters already, and the right ones are that I can see. So let's start. Let's start focusing on a team and start getting them to 12. Because you can work on characters like the bounty hunters to gear 11 as the same time as you're farming those gear 12 pieces to get those done. We need to finish our, what was Wampa, 6 stars. So
Wampa 6-star and gear 8, I think it was.
yeah, so we need to finish Wampa. But once you get Wampa done, then that store opens up for all the crap. Really, it's those certain gear 11 and gear 12 pieces, but you're going to be able to use that store for a lot of pieces that you need to finish off characters. I always pick one character and I look at the store, do I have that piece in there, and then I go and scoop it up, and I'll finish that up that way. So once you finish Wampa, probably I would say you've got to be close. If not the next territory battle, with the two territory wars and everything, you should be getting closer and closer to finishing them off. And once you do, then all that currency can go into gear, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. I wouldn't worry about characters. You've got the characters you need, so you just start gearing the snot out of everybody. That's just another store that you use with the shard store, that store, the guild store. You're going to start having a lot of pieces, and that's not even including all the raids and stuff that you're doing with all the gear you're getting from there. So you can start adjusting what you're working on for your gear pieces, for the teams that you're working on. Say you're working on bounty hunters, you've got all these stores now that you can use to finish the bounty hunters up to gear 11 or 12. And then you can go work on Night Sisters and get them all to gear 12. And that's just going to help you overall. It's going to help you more damage in the raids. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Anything else, Dr. Finn?
No, I think that covers everything. And if you're still in the chat, then you can.
Darth Teflon said I done Wampa yesterday. Yay!
Hooray!
Wampa's done. Yay! Now you can just
Wampa.
Now you can start using all that loots for that. The saga of the Gear 12 continues.
Also the store, that guild event store. Obviously Gear 12 and all that stuff is the main caveat for that store. But stun guns, I save currency just to wait to see stun guns pop up in there. If I'm not gearing one character in direct, it because you can blow through that currency on stun guns, stun cuffs, carbantes, all the Gear 12. Just pick one character for Gear 12 and then
just focus on those specific pieces in all the stores. That's how I use my storage currency right now. If I don't have anything there, then I won't use it. Like I'm doing Wampa right now. So I need the black balls. So I'm just waiting for those because I've got everything else. If I have a stun gun, no, I need a stun gun. I need 3 more.
That'll be the best place for your stun guns because that's the most annoying piece to me, in my opinion. So that's a little caveat for you there too as well.
Yeah. So, and you can start. That's how you do it, and you just do one at a time, and you knock them out. Let's see, do I have any balls anywhere? No balls. So no balls for me. But yeah, that's how you want to do it. So, all right. Great job, great roster. Looks really solid. I think you're on the right path, Darth Teflon. This is how you want to do it, and you're doing it the right way. Now we can start rounding up your characters and your tunes and your teams, and really start getting you into that upper echelon of damage and really solid teams of doing some stuff. So, all right. And if you have any more questions, Darth Teflon, you know where to find us. And I encourage anybody that has questions and we're not streaming that you can come to our Discord, and we've got an awesome community of people that'll help you with your roster or just answer your questions. And if you just want to reach us directly, you can. Also, if you'd like a roster review, all you need to do is take your GG page, send it to Dr. Finn, make sure he responds, and we'll add you to the queue. We're about 4 to 5 weeks between when you put it in and us doing it. But we will eventually get to it, and Dr. Finn will let you know a day or two before we're going to do your roster review that we're getting ready to do your roster. All right. That being said, I think it's time for some questions. So let's do it.
Pika pika.
How dare you, Finn?
Paul Morgan, question for veterans. What veteran freebies did you enjoy from the Grateful Companies on Veterans Day? I got a free haircut.
I got free tobacco.
Pizza the Hut, question, what is the composition of a Phase 3 Aura Bounty Hunter team?
I think it's Django Fett lead. No, wait. You're getting ready to run this team, right, Silo?
Yeah, what it is, it's Aura lead with like 4 attacker bounty hunters, so they stealth under her lead, and then you can do like Envy's Nest as the 5th. And like a Wampa, you could do Wampa as a 5th. It's just a character to stand out under herself. But with Envy's Nest, you get the survivability to the enrage. With Wampa, you could get dazed, all that kind of stuff too as well. But Nest and her kit alone has the survivability to push you to the enrage, and then you can rack up the extra damage even without Aura Singh's Zetas. But the Zeta on her special ability will give that extra damage if toppled for raid bosses. So it's up to you really with Aura being free to play. I'm going to run it as soon as I get her up to 7 stars, and I'll put some film for it on my channel too as well.
Darkside Ranger J 1999, question, will Ranger really leave the game if Darkside Revan comes to the game along with the Eternal Twins?
If they do it like they did the last one, yes. I mean, sorry, but you know, if you're gonna do back-to-back crap like this, yeah, it'll be a bridge too far. I just can't do it.
I think when good old Maurice put it properly, it's like, you know, like a lot of people spend the money, but you know, a lot of people are also in the middle to where they don't want to keep spending the money. Then there's the players that don't spend the money in general, and you know, it's basically pushing the community to the point where what's the breaking point of pay to play versus free to play now. And I mean, like, obviously there's that caveat of, you know, spending and whatever, but nobody wants to keep spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars every few months on a game like this. You know, I mean, I love the game, don't get me wrong, but it's the cash grabbing and, you know, the fact that they're reaching into our pockets every couple months for a new toy, and it's only going to last so long. Like I was telling Ranger earlier, I bought most of the $10 marquee packs this year up till the KOTOR characters and some of the ships, and I just couldn't keep spending the $10 or the $20. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I blame Finn.
Grand Admiral of the Republic, question, I'm about to finish Young Lando on the fleets table. Should I farm Nest or Sith Assassin ship?
Nest, right? Nest is the way to go.
Finish Nest.
Look, he's finishing Nest. He's asking what he should work on next, right?
Oh.
Young Lando.
Yeah,
Like
Young Lando, because you get the ship and the character.
No. Actually, he's about to finish Young Lando.
Oh, he's finishing Young Lando, and he wants to know if he should do Nest or the Sith ship.
Nest.
Yeah,
definitely Nest. As long as you finish Millennium Falcon too. Make sure you finish Millennium Falcon and not just Lando before you switch.
Yeah, I'm right there. I just finished Nest like 2 days ago, and I've been refreshing Lando's node because I already finished the character, but the ship still needs 55 shards. So then once I finish the ship, then I'll go in on Sith Fighter, but I've only been spending what's left over from my energy from refreshing Lando's node without spending more than 1 crystal refresh on the fleet energy, so...
Dame P, question for Ranger and Finn. How are you currently on the Old Republic farming process star-wise, and how many hard node refreshes currently?
I think Finn's done.
No, I'm not done yet. Let me see. I finished mission. Mission is 7-star. Bastila is 71 out of 100. Zalbar is 52 out of 100. Jolie is 76 out of 100. T3 is 74 out of 100. I'm not doing any refreshes on the nodes themselves. And I'm only doing regular energy. I'm using my ship energy on young Lando, who's at 66 out of 100. I mean, time-wise, I'm pretty sure I have at least 2 months, and I'm about... So in 2 months, I can get 50 shards. So I'm not too worried about time. T3 will finish relatively soon. So, yeah, I mean, as long if it's within anything after 2 months, actually probably within a month and a half, I'll have everything ready. So, yeah, and mission's already, like I said, 7-star.
Yeah, give me a second here. I'm finishing up this smuggling run, and then I'll show you where I'm at.
Can I mention again, I hate the rewards on the smuggling run. They reverted back to something that they got rid of with challenges, which is where you feel like you need to do a lower tier in order to get better rewards.
Yeah, with the ships and
they
stuff.
they made it so the highest tier, for whatever reason, you don't get the shards of the ship, which is awful. I do the one below the highest because I want a chance at getting the Lando ship, which Ranger just got. I just watched it on the stream as you got it. So, I mean, I don't know why they removed the shards from the highest level. So I always do the lowest one now. I did the highest one before and then realized, you know what, I'm not getting any ship currency there. What's the point? So I'm just doing the lower one. I wish they would change that, though. They already fixed it once. I don't know why they reverted to it with this.
Try to ticket, Finn.
So for me, I got Basla almost 7 stars. I just started doing her ship energy with her, so I'll have her done soon. Jolie's about to be 6 stars, but once I finish Basla, then I'm going all in on Jolie, so he'll be done soon. And then once Jolie's done, then I'll do Zalbar. He's 5 stars. So T3 mission and Zalbar 5 star. I'm almost at 6 stars with T3. So they're coming along nicely. It's the process is getting sped up now that I finished Nest. I really wanted to finish Nest. I got Nest to 12. Gear 12 7-star, and that was something I wanted to do. I didn't want to leave Nest out there when I was so close to getting her done. So, but yeah, so for Bass, I'll do both her energy and regular energy or ship energy on her. The other two, Zalbar and Jolie, I just do their hard nodes. And then I'm doing T3 right now with Cantina. Once I get him to 6 stars, I'm going to go back to mission. And then I'll start doing her to 6 stars. So I may start investing 100 crystals a day just in Cantina because I'm only spending 50 on just one refresh to get all the the other characters, which is more than enough. So I may start investing 100 Cantina energy refresh just to speed up the T3 mission one. So that's where I'm at.
What is that noise?
What noise?
Sounds like somebody's scraping something. I don't know.
Pika pika.
It's probably Finn scraping his nails on the screen trying to grab Pika.
Pika pika.
Maz Kanada. Question, is a Night Sister squad with Asajj lead an okay defense team in territory war, or do you really need Zeta Mother Talzin lead? 160 million GP guild, Talia Daka zombie.
Night Sisters with Enfys works.
Yeah, very much so.
You don't need the Talzin leader Zeta. You can definitely do it with Asajj lead. So that's fine. I would make sure that you have Talzin's unique, though. Not as important in PvE, much more important in PvP, because you do need that extra turn meter whenever you can get it in order to kind of keep your team at the top. But no, it works. So I'll just throw it. So Imperial Troopers is the counter to Night Sisters, right? And depending on what you're setting in defense, and especially this month, here's the problem with Night Sisters. To stop that team, all you need to do is put a daze on Enfys Nest. Putting a daze on Enfys slows down the entire process. And typically, you would be able to get away with putting Enfys on defense with the Night Sisters because you would save Death Trooper in order to fight Traya teams. The problem is Traya teams are getting mega wrecked by the month boost to Mace. So Mace can now crush you, and you don't need to save for that Thrawn Magma Trooper Death Trooper team. And that then frees up Death Trooper to be in an Imperial Trooper squad and take out your Night Sisters. So that's the difficulty that you're going to have to kind of keep in mind just for this month. Other months at 160 million GP, you're probably putting Revens and Treyas on defense, which means that people are going to be using Thrawn Magma Death Trooper against it, and then that protects your Enfys with your Night Sisters. This month, I want to say yes, it's a good team, but just proceed with caution because it is semi-easily stopped with a Death Trooper, because all you need to do is put a Thrawn on the Imperial Trooper team, turn meter swap with Death Trooper, put a Daze on Enfys, and then you can just let Snow Trooper just have a field day. So just something to kind of keep in mind, because this month is a little bit different because of all the weird bonuses and all of that.
I'm wondering if next month they're going to do Dark Side, where it's all anti-Jedi.
I mean, this is split. I mean, it's not just light side. Dooku's thing is actually really nice. He works really well on a Traya team, actually, on defense. Or if you're saving it for offense now because of this month, like Dooku is really good. With all of his extra counter, and if you can get him to go first, all of his Force Lightning, like he's kind of nuts right now. Sorry, Ouchie.
Gav P. Question: how do you find Bastila-led and other Revan-led Jedi teams for Phase 3 and Heroic Sith Triumvirate Raid? Are there any other teams apart from Chex Mix useful in P3?
Depends on your definition of useful. So you can compile other teams, right? So we just talked about the Bounty Hunter team. If you have Aura, right? So Aura Sing is the Aura. Obviously, you need a 7-star Aura, right? So that kind of makes it a little bit difficult to use the Bounty Hunter team, but that team is available. Besides Chex Mix, you can also do a Boba Fett lead Greedo kind of Chex Mix alternative. That team does have potential also. It's a little bit less damage though, because if you don't have Revan, then you're not going to get a mark on Traya, because you're probably using Death Trooper with your CLS Han team. So you're going to lack an additional mark, but you can still get a lot of damage with Greedo onto Traya. The other one is the Rolo team, which is Rebels with Rebel Officer, and then you get Jin Urso. You put advantage on Rolo after a topple, and then as soon as you pass her the turn meter and give her advantage, she stand alone, gets all the bonuses, and then does her 11 hits. Does her 11 hits on a single Traya that's remaining. So that team is, I mean, the team is fairly good for about 1%, maybe even 1.5 to 2%. Without a whole lot of gear, it's fairly decent because you can get guaranteed advantage from Jin. I mean, there are a few other Phase 3 teams.
McMold2 yesterday posted how to do 15% damage with the Jedi Revan team.
Well, he was asking without Revan, right? He was asking without Revan and Bastila?
No, it was just overall.
Oh, okay, then yeah. Then if you have Revan, then you have a lot more options. I thought the question was saying if you don't have Revan or Bastila. Then yeah, Revan provides you a whole different set of things. Because you can use Revan not as a lead, you can use Revan as a lead. Yeah, sorry. I thought the question was asking for that.
It was how do you find those teams, not how do you find other teams?
Oh, so he's asking for teams with Bastila and Revan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. So then the Revan team is Revan, Bastila. I'm trying to remember what McMull's team
Jolie was. And Grandmaster Yoda and Herma Yoda.
There you go.
Yeah, and then you could sub Jolie for Ezra too, but Jolie's the better 5th. And then I personally ran our last Sith raid. I did the last 7% of Phase 1, and then I did 16, almost 16% of Phase 2. So you can you can use it as a way to push through P1 for extra damage, and then use as much damage as you can through the in-range. And I did like 10.6 million doing that. So I think Revan's comps are more better in the front half of the raid. That way you can, because I didn't even have time to run a second team in P2 because how consuming it was, and the fact that it was the back half of P1. So everybody else is throwing their, Wampa teams in and everything else like that, and they're putting in their damage output. So the sooner you run Revan, the better. If you run them in the back half of the raid in P3, then you're going to miss out on more damage if you could even potentially get a second team into P2 like I didn't get to, and it was the first time I got first in the Sith raid too. So if I'd have had another team in P2, I could have potentially did another 2, 3, 4 million. So I would run them in the first half of the raid.
The other thing too to keep in mind with that, with any team that uses Grandmaster Yoda, right? Make sure that you look at the lead, because or the abilities, because you need to run Grandmaster Yoda in the raids before the boss drops 50% in that phase. Because after 50%, his basic ability doesn't do as well as his as above 50%, where he gains turn meter. Because if it's less, then he just gains offense up and defense penetration up, which can be potentially nice. But really, you want Grandmaster Yoda just going kind of crazy amounts. If you do it afterwards, then what you're going to be trying to do is time it so Yoda gets the offense up and defense penetration up for 2 turns, and then you have to get Bastila to give Yoda the buffs, and then you distribute it to all of them, and now they all have defense penetration, offense up, and you can potentially do a standalone as well, because there are a few attackers in that group. So I mean, you have different options there, but just kind of keep that in mind too, that Yoda, your attack sequence will vary based on whether or not you're attacking before he's below 50% or after he's below 50%. So,
Helenex, question: the First Order Mark IV Comlink salvage pieces gear grind is a major pain in my keister. Applying chocolate Vaseline isn't helping. Why is this particular gear grind grinding my gear so much?
that sounds like a Harry Carey question.
Because CG is doing their job.
You know what grinds my gears?
Hey, did someone mention chocolate Vaseline? You must be using the generic brand, because I don't have this problem. What was the question again?
I think you answered it correctly.
Oh, good. I have these momentary lapses of remembering stuff.
All right, next question.
What were we talking about?
The Mark IV Comlink salvage.
Hey, those Mark IV Cheddar Comlinks, they're everywhere.
Daniel Salazar, question: which are your favorite Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content creators? Mine are RSG, Warrior, Skeltrix, and RLT 101. Love you guys.
I mean, I might be a little bit biased here, but my favorite is the guys, that do a lot of live streaming all the time and get you the information, Arnold and Cubs.
Yeah, love Warrior.
There you go.
Out of all of them, I think Harry Carey is my favorite.
That's a good call. I mean, when I'm streaming live, you get not only the Cubs games, but you get Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It's a win-win. And remember,
and a close second is Randy Newman.
That's right, because when I do all the songs that Harry Carey, it's like, oh, here I feel another song coming on. Do finish stupid Eddie loves the Pokemon. I got confused here because I don't know what the Pokemon is.
Pika.
Fat Tony 99, question: at what point should I consider putting Zeta on Talzin lead? Currently run Asajj lead phase 4 and do 5 to 6 million in Heroic Sith Triumvirate raid, but I'm placing second now to a guy running Deathstorm and pulling over 14 million with it.
Well.
I don't know. Talzin lead is pretty nice, but it does take a side seat to Asajj's. Asajj's is just much better.
I've had
and
this
more
discussion with Ranger too, where we discussed like which Zeta, and I love Talzin's leader Zeta.
Oh, her
but
lead is amazing. Don't get me wrong.
But once you have Asajj, I'll admit you don't need it. Like it's a really good Zeta. I prefer it in most situations over Asajj outside of the raid. But it's one of those where like if you already have Asajj and you're doing it for the raid, like you don't need Talzin's lead. Like it provides a different type of leader, but it's not anything that it's like super better than the Asajj lead. So it depends on how many Zetas and stuff you have, and if you have a better position for your Zeta.
I don't know. I think it's either. I did both, so I mean, I use them. It's situational. It depends on who I'm facing, what I'm trying to do. If it's straight damage or a certain team, I'll use Asajj. If I'm really wanting to get the play because it's a more productive use of the Night Sisters, then I'll go Talzin lead. So you're going to get bang for your buck for both. I mean, in the raids, it's hands down Asajj. And I find territory battles I like Asajj more because once you get her amped up, she's just one shot in everything, which is really really nice. It's super nice.
Now, if there were a bunch of Night Sisters that were data mined, extra Night Sisters, if they were to release more of those, and you were able to do 2 teams, then I could see Talzin's lead come back into use. It just dawned on me. Sorry for interrupting you, Ranger, but it just went bing. I remembered something.
No, that's a good point.
The other thing too is when you say you're only getting about 4 to 5 million with your Night Sisters, I feel like there's something else going on at that point. Because you should be able to get like 6 million fairly easily with your Night Sisters. So there may be an issue with your sequencing or your modding as well, because Asajj lead can get a lot more than just 4 or 5 or 6 million. Like you can get a lot more than that, because I'm sure if you look online and some of the videos and stuff, even with like the God mod type stuff, they get up to like 12 million, I think, in some of the videos and whatnot. So yeah, you might just need a little bit more practice, honestly, with some of the sequencing in order to make sure you're not, because it's different trying to maximize your Asajj lead, because you're healing when you don't think you need to heal a lot, because you're trying to get that full turn meter. So it gets a little... sometimes, honestly, it's a little bit counterintuitive, I'll be honest, because you're trying to heal with Daka and nobody's dead, and you feel like you need to save it for a res, but you're healing in order to get everyone full turn meter and then trigger Asajj's lead. And so there's some points where it's unnatural the way that you would normally play your Night Sisters versus how you play them in the raid. And so I think there may be just other ways with your own team that you can get a higher score.
Doc Ariak, question: how will CG incentivize and monetize Grand Arena? A new store?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's probably going to be some new currency or something that you get as a result of it, and there's probably going to be some kind of store that you use. Well, you know what? I take that back. They basically said there's going to be 3 rounds, right? And so if you look at what you get from it, you have, let's just assume, just based on territory war and territory battles, you'll have 1 day in order to sign up. Then each of the rounds, you get 1 defense phase and you get 1 offense phase in order to set based on who your opponent is, and 1 in order to attack. And then you get paired up against for the next round and stuff. That's a total of 7 24-hour periods. So basically 7, like 1 week. And so they really have to be cautious about making the difference with the rewards too high, right? But you're only getting paid once a week, it looks like. But I think they said there's something about stuff happening in between each round or something like that too. So maybe the big reward is at the end, and then you get some mini ones in between, or whatever it is, right? But the main problem that you'll have is that the payout is going to be somewhat low, I'm going to say, in terms of you're not going to get paid very frequently. So I don't know how much you could sustain its own store. But they are using the tag of arena, so maybe they're going to give you more arena currency, which in a sense can be very good. I know we're not getting any other characters there, but we have a huge suspicion that there's going to be more capital ships coming into the game, and you need those prestige. Maxing out a capital ship is about like 2,000 prestige, and so you're going to need to collect those if you already haven't. And if they're starting to drop more capital ships and they're trying to kind of boost up the whole ship content, more arena tokens is not going to be a bad thing. And whenever you need, you can always get credits and stuff too. Since we all think, no, I shouldn't say all, there are many that think there's an impending level cap coming. And so you'll need the credits for that too. So in thinking it out, I don't think that there's going to be a new store. I think it's going to provide you currency that's already in game, because the frequency of payment is not going to be quick enough. You're going to get 3 rounds. Yeah, so Carrie said at the end of each of the 3 rounds, you'll get a reward, and then one final set of rewards at the end based on your standing. And so essentially you're going to get, like, I'm going to compare it just to our territory battles, where you get like maybe a few things every phase with the special mission type of things. And then you get one final reward at the end. It's not going to be frequent enough, so no other store.
I'm just afraid that this is they're going to end up doing some sort of cash grab with this new arena, to where if you don't fork over cash, you're not going to do very well.
I don't care. It's basically free compared to what I'm doing in-game now. So all I need to do is sign up, throw things on defense. I may or may not even attack on offense, depending on how I feel. And even if I get rank 8, I don't care.
So it's free stuff. Going back to the rewards too, do you think there'd be any base on the GP of your reward or anything like that? Like,
it's possible. It's possible that they tier it, because they're considering it a mini territory war, right? And territory war itself has different tiers. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there is tiering of the rewards based on your GP. How much of a difference? Yeah. Again, you have to be kind of cautious about how much you're giving to the upper end versus how much you're giving to the lower end with regards to what they're getting, because you can easily kind of shift. Basically, and it happens, but you make the rich richer and you make the poor poorer, because they're going to keep falling behind. And so it's something they'll have to probably proceed with caution on. But yeah, I think a tiered based on your GP type thing is probably going to happen.
Billy Gunn replied to my question yesterday. I would only farm bounty hunter ships from shipments until farmable. Trying to get ahead of curve for OT Falcon.
Yeah. I mean, it's up here.
I just have too many characters I got to get done for legendaries. I can't be focusing on that record.
Yeah, I'm not worried about spending crystals on stuff right now. Now I'm just going to kind of hoard it. Basically, my thought process now is I'm not going to bother spending crystals on a legendary, because I can get it unlocked anyways. And most of the legendaries are viable below 7 stars. So I'm not going to bother spending crystals on those kind of things. So I can probably get the OT Chewy with minimal spending of crystals, not money, but just crystals that I've accumulated, and get it to 5-star, and then I can wait for the 7-star. I'd rather hold out for another journey character like Revan, and where you can only get the 7-star, and that seems more worthwhile to use your credits now, or your crystals. They basically showed you that they have no problem trying to force a money grind to get out a 7-star character. So what's the point in me trying to get a legendary to 7-star anymore? Like, it just doesn't seem worth it. There's something coming down the line that's going to make you use like 40,000, 50,000 crystals. So may as well just save for it.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried, man. I don't like hearing members of the community being like, "Oh, meh."
Well, it's not a bad thing. Every game has a way that you need to prioritize your currency, right? This is essentially, for free-to-play, a resource management game. And so how do you want to manage your resources? And part of it is deciding, is it worth it to spend it on one thing versus spending it on another? And so basically you have to adjust with the way that the game goes, right? So if the game is moving along and they change something, then you have to adapt your strategy. So you, at this point, they change the way that characters are released over time. They change the way that these events are popping up. They're shortening the time frame and all of that, right? And so I think you're at the point now where you just want to save for journeys, and you don't want to spend for legendaries as long as you get the unlock. And I mean, that's just the change that they've kind of forced upon us, and you just have to adapt.
Well, there's another game that I play right now. I won't mention it because we're obviously talking about Galaxy of Heroes.
You can talk about it. It doesn't matter. This isn't a Galaxy of Heroes stream. This is just kind of a lunch stream. That's why we do random stupid stuff.
All right, so like there's Marvel Strike Force.
Okay, you're banned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry.
So they just released, Legendary for Magneto, but the requirements are 2 characters that are behind paywalls that you'd have to spend like hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to get those 2 characters to get Magneto. You know what I mean? So like, it could be worse. They could release characters and be like, hey, we're going to do a legendary event, but you can't get the characters until after the event's over, free to play.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, don't forget, this is the way the game was.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, it just shows how much growth there's been and how there's still the ability of getting things free to play. It's just, like Finn said, micromanaging yourself and your crystal income. And, yeah, you can get that. There was players in the community that got them free to play, too. So, but they did save, like, tens of thousands of crystals at the same time. So,
yep.
Paul Bracamonte, question. I have 3.4 million GP with no Treya, no Revan. How screwed am I for Grand Arena?
Screwed.
No.
depends
You're
on
not
your GP.
screwed, but you're going to
You're
have a
screwed.
Remember that thing that Harry Carey said about chocolate?
Hey, did we
Vaseline?
mention the chocolate Vaseline? Oh, I'm back.
I'm going to tell you right now. So, one, you're going to have difficulty. No, not going to lie. You're going to have difficulty without having Treya in particular.
Yeah,
Even if you don't have Revan, right? Now, Revan is a big help, but you can potentially run counters against Revan. The problem is you don't have Treya, which makes any counter difficult. That being said, you're going to, I think, have a large amount of attrition with Grand Arena. I think you're going to end up seeing that a lot of people are just going to join and just get the rewards and leave it at that. And with that, just the fact that if you want to remain active will probably be enough to get you into maybe the upper half of the payout rewards out of the 8. After a little bit of time. I think early on everyone's going to try and play, but as time wears on, because it is another time sink, you're going to have a lot of people joining, maybe sticking things on defense, and then not bothering with offense because it's not worth their time. And so just being active should be enough to kind of push you over the top. It doesn't really matter. And I would say even more, actually, that range, somewhere probably between 3.3 and maybe like 4.2, where they have a lot of things and it's not really going to impact them, but they're not paying so much that they really feel like they have to test out their roster. So it's that little bit of kind of a high free-to-play, low whaley kind of gray zone. I think you're going to see the biggest type of Grand Arena attrition there, where they're just going to be like, yeah, I just want the reward. I don't care to spend the time. So you could potentially get an advantage as well, just based on your GP.
Well, that, and then another effect of Revan, it's like I've seen players under 1 million GP with Revan. I mean, like it's just depending on how much
they may have Revan, but nothing else, and you can.
Well, yeah, but see, he said 3.4.
That's all they need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. He said 3.4. If he said I am a 1.4, and if I face a Revan, then yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, you're screwed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like, it's just a caveat of that.
His GP being 3.4, he has options.
Hey, let me introduce you to this chocolate Vaseline. You're good to meet you, homie.
But yeah, 3.4. That's a really high range, and like I consider myself like a collector character or a player, but I mean, like I'm excited about it because I love territory wars, and I think this would be a good advantage to not only learn how to expand my roster, but utilize more teams and utilize all the lower pieces that I have in my roster too as well. So I think it's going to be exciting.
I just noticed that You got a $250 donation for Clone Wars Chewbacca.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Listen here, Rose Tico. You better step up your game, homie, or get your homies to step up because we can't.
Clone Wars is at 261.01.
What's Rose at?
500. So the gap is now 239.99.
Come on now, folks.
People like me. Please help me get me Clone Wars Chewie.
No, screw Finn. Make him do Rose Taco. Just think of the glorious suffering and pain that he's about to go through, having to put that Zeta on.
Help me with Clone Wars Chewie.
Yeah, don't let him get a Zeta he wants to do.
We did go over 1,000, by the way, on our Tiltify.
I know, right? Especially with that 250, we got to be.
Yep, we're at 1,186.01.
Wow. Just about 10% of the way to our goal. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Bjorn Rodiger, question: I'm thinking about a bounty hunter team for Territory War / Grand Arena. Jango, Boba, Bosk, Dengar, Embo. Thoughts? Which Zetas would be needed or nice to have?
Well, Bosk. You'd be running Bosk lead, I think. So, I mean, I would probably go Bosk. I can see you trying Jango, but I mean, honestly, let's just wait until we don't know what they're going to do. I'm not going to mention the specifics, but I'm sure you guys have seen there is a leak of one of the conditions that may be on Grand Arena. And so that's been floating around. I'm not going to go into the details about it because it shouldn't have been leaked.
I remember that. If they do that to Grand Arena, I'm going to be...
That's what I'm saying. So we don't know what exactly is going on with that, right? And so we don't know what they're planning on doing. So I would just... I mean, it's good to plan and think about things, but I would just hold your horses for now. Let's just wait until it comes out. There's probably going to be some conditions on there that we need to review and figure out what the best strategy is, just like every game mode and raid and stuff that comes out there. So I would just wait right now before putting Zetas or anything in preparation for Grand Arena when we don't even really know what Grand Arena is going to entail, besides that it's 8 people and you fight each other in kind of a tournament style for 3 rounds and you get rewards. Like, that's all we pretty much know. So I would just wait for now, but Bosk's lead Zeta is a good Zeta just overall. So if you want to do something with bounty hunters, that's a Zeta I would recommend. But until then, I mean, if you're doing it just for Grand Arena purposes and not Territory War, then I would just hold.
Well, then you'll notice the Zeta on Houndstooth. Houndstooth, once you put the Zeta on Bosk, it's arguably the best ship in the game, right? I mean, you notice the difference in survivability once you put one of those Zetas, let alone 2. So it's worth it.
Zyla, where is my apprentice?
He's watching his cartoons.
Let's stop that. Put on dark side television.
I've been actually putting the Clone Wars on for him, and he really likes it, bro.
Good. The Force is strong with him.
Give him Order 66.
Tell my apprentice to choke you twice today for your insolence. It's like, put him on.
He's watching his TV. Don't interrupt him. He'll force choke you.
He is my apprentice. Shut up, Finn, or I have him force choke you as well.
Next question.
Ouchie Dumpling, question: do you think it would be a good idea if we would be able to use the same tunes for offense that we could use in defense for Grand Arena? Also, how did I get chat moderation permissions? Shouldn't give me that kind of power!
Unlimited power!
So for the second part, I gave it to you, Ouchie, because we trust you in order to help the chat, and you can ban people if you feel like it.
Yeah.
So, Ouchie, you are deserving of that power. Now, the next part, with the first question, with regards to the offense-defense stuff, I mentioned this from the beginning. I thought it would be a lot cooler if you set up offense and defense kind of like a game of Risk. And so you put the teams on defense, and then you basically each team kind of proceeds to attack the other territory with their teams on defense. So whoever you put on the front lines will attack the front lines of the other one, and then you slowly start bringing them from behind. You can kind of move them in as long as there's a path between one of your territories and the next territory, and like you could actually play a semi game of Risk, and so you're actually playing with the teams that you put on defense. That was what I was hoping for with Territory Wars to begin with. I can say that I'm hoping for something similar with Grand Arena, but I sincerely doubt it. I think at this point they're basically going to just continue that same thing with one team on defense, then a different team for offense.
Yeah, I think they'll try to retain as many of the features from a Territory War aspect of it as much as they can. I mean, aside that it's an 8v8, it's Territory Wars basically, in my opinion. So.
Chewy, question: do you think that Revan will come back for Christmas? And who do you think the next Old Republic Toon/hero will be?
It would be my.
Will he? No, I don't think he will. He'll be later than December. December, I would guess, is probably going to be Millennium Falcon. So prepare to get bounty hunter ship.
Remember in the road ahead that they're excited to go back to some of the trilogy stuff,
which trilogy. I think is going to be Dark Side.
Possibly. I mean, they could, but my
Inquisitors.
Three things that popped in my head since we saw it in the bounty hunter thing for Chewbacca. Black Jacket Han, get ready for another Han. C-3PO is a possibility, and definitely the Millennium Falcon. Those are some of the things that when I read the road ahead and that popped into my brain. Could they go dark side? Yeah, there's some stuff they could go dark side with. I mean, they're kind of limited. I mean, they could put Scout Trooper into the game. They could go maybe some ships.
I think they're going to go with a generic Rebel pilot, and then give us an X-wing. And
I think it'll be like an A-wing or a B-wing or something. I could see that.
They could. Yeah, they definitely could do
X-wings
in the game. You know, like the Aluminum Falcon and the Millennial Falcon.
I think C-3PO and Millennium Falcon are there. I don't think we're going to get
Just give us the AT-AT so we can have the I win button.
I don't think we're going to get Black Jacket Han, despite all of that. It's the first time we're clamoring for a Han, and that means they're not going to give it to us.
All I know is that when you play Battlefront and you get the AT-AT, oh my god, it's great when you blast people in the air and you just see the.
Can I get the laser gunship? I just want a laser gunship.
They have the laser gunship in Battlefront 2.
No, in this game.
Oh, well, nobody cares what you want, Finn.
I just want to fly around and just spam the laser on things and watch them die.
Play Battlefront 2. You could do that all the time. I hate that damn ship. I will intentionally shoot whatever I have at it because it's like you'll be sitting there just doing your stuff all of a sudden. Bzzz, and you're like, oh god, yeah. Jesus.
I know, but I think Old Republic wise, I think they're going to go to a dark side, and it'll lead to a Malik. I think this is all leading to a legendary
I think that's
Malik.
Where they're going. So you guys have to remember there's two aspects of the Old Republic era. There's the Revan time period, and that includes Trey and all those guys. That's his time period. Then you skip 300 years in the future, and that's when you get to the Old Republic game itself. Now we do have characters from that Empire in the game, which is the Sith Trooper and the Sith Assassin. That is directly from the Old Republic MMORPG. So there are characters on the dark side, Vitiate, Malgus. There's a ton of characters from that time period.
Scourge?
Yeah, Scourge.
Which can help you turn Alec into Malik, and you can get Darth Malik with an event. That's what I think this is all leading towards. In February, we're going to get a Darth Malik. And then moving forward, that's going to lead you to needing Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Malik for a Darth Revan.
Yeah, see, and I think that's where they're going to stick for a little bit is the Knights of the Old Republic timeline. We're not going to really see any of those characters from the Old Republic yet, like Malgus, the Eternal Twins. Yes, I said it. Those kind of characters are not going to come into the game for a bit because they've got all this other content that they can use first with Malik and all those other characters. So there's going to be more of that stuff before we start even dipping our toe into more of the Old Republic MMORPG game of getting those characters in the game.
Well, and another thing too is, Nihilus and Scion were both marquee events, and I would hate to see it, but I think it's a possibility too that they could do Malik as Marquis and other dark side characters around them. It's just mainly keeping an eye out for when they expand the Old Republic tag and introduce dark side characters at the same time, right? Because for the longest time, I've been asking, how are they going to introduce dark side characters with the Old Republic tag without affecting the Revan event, right? The light side Revan, and that's simple. They just make more multiple light side Old Republic characters with the Old Republic faction tag, but at the same time, that also creates a bigger window to get Revan. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to focus more on introducing the dark side characters first and keep us on our toes. And like right now, everyone's speculating in the community that Darth Revan's right around the corner. It's too soon, right? I mean, it's just introducing dark side Old Republic faction tags before anything else is going to happen. So I think maybe in February we'll start to see more of the dark side Old Republic characters, and the rest of the following year up till February maybe we'll get some additional Old Republic characters as marquees just to stretch that faction out too as well.
All right, and next question.
Mr. Pennypinch, question for Finn. Is it safe to say you're part of the furry community? LOL.
I will neither confirm nor deny, but all I will say is Pika Pika Porg Porg. Next question.
Absolutely, he is a mongoloid that follows.
Pika Pika Porg Porg. I'm not answering a question.
Yes, you are.
Doriason, question for Ranger. Wouldn't it make more sense to use fleet energy on Zalbar first and refresh Jolie node because of the Carbonti on Jolie node?
No, because I'm not worried about Carbontis. I get plenty of those. I'm not doing this for gear. I'm doing this specifically for the characters. So it's about finishing the characters. The gear is secondary for me right now.
Contingent 33. Question: in what instance would you use Revan not in the lead?
What?
If you don't have the other, so it's phase 3 of the Heroic Sith raid. That's pretty much the only circumstance I would say you would want him outside a lead, and that's if you're running a bounty hunter team with Boba, and you could do basically a Greedo checks team, but instead of Han, you're using Greedo. Instead of Death Trooper, you're using Revan for the mark, and then you're using a different character such as like Anakin in order to get offense up instead of POW, whatever it is. But essentially, that's what it is.
Hey, I got to do a shout out to our boy Shills, who just had a baby. Let me see here.
Oh,
hey!
Congrats,
Shills.
Let me look here. Oh wow! I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I just got a picture sent. We have a new member of the Star Wars Galaxy Hero community. The little babe. I think it's a boy. Here, let me pull Discord up and I can share that with the community. It's a good-looking kid. Let me.
So you're getting another apprentice now?
Yes, I would have.
But there can only be.
Shut up,
there's only 2.
I rule the galaxy, not you.
Okay, so Xylo's son has to kill you, and then he can be the master to Shields' baby. There we go.
First, he must kill his father and take his place along my side. Let's look at this beautiful kid. Look at that little punum. Look at that little punum. Wait,
I have to wait for it to come on screen.
Yeah, it's coming on screen now. Look at that little guy. Congrats to Shields. That's amazing. Look at that little tyke. Apprentice of the dark side has been reborn, Finn.
Remember those days back when you actually could sleep at night, because those are in the past and will never happen again.
Well, congrats to our boy Shields. Awesome. All right. Next question.
Dami P. Question: if you were in a guild, players with 1 to 1.5 years of playing time, probably with their CLS Palpy, Thrawn, and R2 ready, would you currently place farming for Revan ahead of BB-8 JTR farming?
No.
You're gonna make more use of the characters that takes to get Jedi Training Ray. whether it's the First Order or the Resistance. Now, you do get a large impact, I'm not going to lie, from getting Revan in Arena and stuff. So you can possibly do all of them at once because a lot of the Jedi Training Rey characters that you need and the BB-8 characters are not hard nodes.
Well,
so
I'm not going to stand by that one because I was like, oh, screw the Horn Muffin, I'm going for Revan.
Well, see, there's a caveat to that, too. So with Revan, they threw us another curveball, and nobody notices it yet. But with Revan's journey, if you are a newer player and you're like, well, I don't have CLS and I don't have JTR, go for Revan. Yeah, that's like you have that option, right?
Sure.
But you don't get to continue the next phase of their journeys. So potentially Jedi Luke around the corner, you need CLS, yeah? And for episode 9 Rey, we're going to need JTR, yeah?
Yeah.
So
only if she learns how to actually swing a lightsaber correctly.
That's
that
baloney.
That, and they kind of put a pivot on episode 9 too. So I mean, potentially we're not going to get Rey's next journey for another year or two, right? So,
no, we're not getting Rey's journey till early as December next year.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a while for her journey, yes, but CLS's new journey could be right around the corner. So don't skip out on CLS at least.
I will agree with that one. CLS, I mean, I like him more than JTR, but
yeah,
and he's more useful in more things, I think.
Yeah, universal, and maybe the potential that he'll get an X-wing and be a pilot, right? I mean, JTR is not the pilot of the Episode 7 Millennium Falcon, so I mean, there's a catch-22 with all 3 of the journey events now, and the potential of Luke's journey coming around the corner. So.
Jacob F. Question: I have 5-star Hoda. Should I get Wampa 5-star next or take Hoda to 7-star first?
7-star.
I'd finish Yoda first.
Do it.
Revenator. Question: how do you remove a mark? I would like to take one off for all of my Mark 4 Carbantes.
Well, there's this stuff called chocolate Vaseline. It works wonders.
Well, Riddick would usually just kill the person that put out the mark.
There's also a thing called delete, and you can just delete it, and then all your marks will go away.
I think that's not what he means.
Just saying.
Max Dog. Question: is Jolie worth a Zeta if I don't have Revan?
Nope.
Yeah, it is.
Nope.
Yeah.
I think maybe
you can use Jolie definitely on a Bastila team with a Zeta.
Nope.
Like,
went into the freaking aliens from Sesame Street. Nope.
Like you could do Bastila lead, Jolie, the Yodas, and GK. You could do you could take the Hermit Yoda out and put in Ezra. It would still work.
Yeah. You can definitely put a Zeta, but the only thing is you need to make sure that he's high geared, and you need a high geared Bastila and everything like that. He's a good Jedi with the res and everything. You can replace, just like Xylo said, you can replace Hermit Yoda with Jolie, get extra heals, get a res, and you can do that. But whether you want to or not, it's up to you. It doesn't make a huge impact compared to Hermit Yoda. But again, if you're doing it for territory wars, that frees up Hermit Yoda for a different team, and so you can kind of decide how you want to handle it.
All right.
Question: I have about 800 prestige saved up. Should have Chimera 7-star next time the event comes. Should I keep hoarding or upgrade Home 1? Executrix is already maxed out.
Well, if you're going all in Chimera, if you're going all in, go all in.
Because Chimera is so good, it's worthwhile holding on to. I mean, he's loads better than Home 1.
None of them! Which ship are you using in fleet?
Well, I maxed Chimera first, then did Executrix, and now
were you using Chimera?
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm saying, right? So more likely than not, there is a capital ship coming into the game. We're bound to get it with the number of regular ships coming into the game. There is bound to be a capital ship probably coming within the next 3 months. If we get a capital ship within the next 3 months, and you're using Executrix in your fleet, then you have no reason to put Prestige on Chimera right now. So save up. Don't even bother putting it on Chimera. save up your prestige. Once you're over 2,000 prestige, which is enough in order to get one character or one capital ship maxed out in abilities, then spend everything above 2,000 on whatever capital ship you want to work on. So save up 2,000 first, and then anything above it, if you want to work on Chimera, put it on Chimera. But if you're not going to use Chimera in fleet, in your like fleet arena, and you have Executrix, putting prestige now is going to be a waste if there's a new capital ship that ends up being meta changing.
Max Dog, question for Grand Arena. Should I focus more on mod farming or mod slicing? I already upgraded most of my mods for my arena team.
Keep
Depends
doing the
on your mods.
Yeah, depends on your mods. You know, look at where you're at with your speeds, and if there's some blues and purples that you still haven't got to, keep slicing. You can kind of alternate if you're at a good spot where you're just looking for those gold mods, purple mods, maybe even blue mods that have 5 speed on them that you could possibly use depending on which space they fall into. So you're always looking, for the better mods and stuff. So you're never done farming. For right now, I'm just slicing like a madman because I've got so many mods. It's ridiculous. But I'm still on the lookout. I still look for specifically triangle and crosses that have, they're purple or gold that have speed on them, and I will buy them. Because, if I can roll them and get a high, it's worth it,
Yeah,
so.
same. Yeah.
But that's rare.
I
mean, they're hardly ever there, so
yeah.
that's the only thing in the mod store that I will get. I don't bother with any more speed arrows or anything like that. It's got to be, I'm looking specifically for triangles and crosses because all the other ones I have tons of. But I've got a good amount of those, but a little bit more limited. So I'm always looking, especially if I see a speed triangle purple with crit damage, give me 5 speed, yeah, I'll roll it.
Yeah, like Monday through Friday, I'll do the slicing materials, and I'll hoard some of the slicing materials so I can always slice a mod if I want to, and then on Saturdays and Sundays I'll look through my roster about like offense mods, tenacity mods, all these extra mods that you don't have in your inventory right now to kind of expand your what's it called, your mods and what you can utilize. Like you right now see like the tenacity on like Enfi's Nest and Jolie, and there's so many different variations now with mods. It's like every kind of mod is useful now, so looking for new primaries is something I do on the weekends.
Helen X, question: what brand of chocolate Vaseline does Harry Carey recommend as the best quality? I've heard the RSG brand helps ease the pain that Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes players experience so regularly from CG.
Well, you want the Grande approved thumbs up picture on the bottle. That's for one. And I like the mocha myself. Finn, I think you're a dark chocolate fan, if I'm not mistaken.
So here's a fun fact that you guys may not know. So Vaseline is actually an example of branding where essentially a name of a product has taken over so much that you now refer to the product by its company name. So Vaseline is actually just petroleum jelly. Vaseline is the actual product.
Well, petroleum
just like
jelly
sometimes people call tissues Kleenex and they call bandages Band-Aids. That's all examples of branding. So chocolate Vaseline is actually telling you that it's the flavor of an already given product name. So the product name is Vaseline.
Hey, nobody likes you. Shut up.
Dariuson, question: if you're going to order 66, what 66 would you order? 66 hot wings, 66 tacos, 66 burgers,
66 strips of bacon,
66 Budweisers.
Next question.
66 hookers and blow.
Oh, that's a good call. You bring that, I'll bring the Budweiser, Finn will bring the chocolate Vaseline, and we've got ourselves a ball game.
I'll be honest right now, 66 hookers is too many.
Not for me, Finn. Just because you're suck at stamina doesn't mean the rest of us do. Bring them on! Yeah.
I'll admit it right now. I would not be able to handle
You're a doctor,
just because you need a little blue pill.
Yeah, you can get us all going.
For 66 hookers, yeah, I probably
Cialis for 66 hookers and blow.
Next question.
Mike Brook, question: please explain tactics. and what it's good for. Chirrut seems to like it.
Okay, so tactics is one of the 3 core basically abilities, not stats in the game. It's strength, agility, and tactics. Tactics deals specifically with the special damage side. So an increase in tactics increases 1, your special damage, and 2, resistance. So how this kind of works, and I'll just kind of give a brief overview. There are 2 overarching kind of umbrella stats, offense and defense. Underneath each of those, there is the physical aspect and the special damage aspect. So in offense, what you'll see listed on there is physical damage stat. So anytime you increase offense, it'll increase both physical damage and special damage. If you increase physical damage, it just increases physical damage. If you increase special damage, it's just special damage. So there you go. Defense works similarly. Under defense, you have armor and you have resistance. So armor reduces the amount of physical damage you take. Resistance reduces the amount of special damage you take. And defense, it decreases the amount of both. So it increases your armor, increases your resistance. So when you are asking about tactics, essentially your character will gain increased special damage and increased resistance, which means it takes less damage from special damage. It would be similar to if you raised, to some extent, if you raise agility. Agility would increase your damage and physical damage, and then increases armor, which reduces your regular physical damage intake. So there you go.
Speedo kills. Question: what are some thoughts about prestigious quests required for future character acquisition? Hope it never happens.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Just say no. Nope.
Nope.
Oh God. I don't think they can really start linking it to the titles and stuff. They're probably gonna do other fun stuff with the title, but I don't think that. I mentioned it before, right? The Jedi Master one could potentially be tied with Luke, and if they do that, that would be like the worst decision they made. But my fear is that they will, and so I've been working on the Jedi title just specifically for that. But I hope they don't do anything like that. That would just be bad.
Andrew Sweeney, question: do you think we will really get Jedi Luke soon and lock Jedi even more firmly into the meta?
Yep.
It depends on what you mean by soon.
December soon.
I was thinking December at first, but I think now this is leading more towards original trilogy.
Have a holly jolly
trilogy
Christmas.
Falcon.
It's the best time to get Luke.
I feel like they can hold out on Jedi Luke a little bit more now with the release of the Falcon.
Helenix, question for Finn. You do realize that explaining to us that Vaseline is a brand name of petroleum jelly makes the jokes less fun, right, bud?
Yeah, Finn.
Oh, no. Did I not take a troll question the way it was supposed to be?
Oh, Finn. Nope.
And that's all the questions.
Okay. Well, we have gone well over, and I blame Finn. But that's okay. Remember, guys, all that jazz, give us a thumbs up. Stop what you're doing right now. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Again, help us spread our content out to the YouTube world. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We do lots of stuff. I know we've got Tuesday Night Gaming coming up tonight. Finn, what's on board tonight?
The game is going to be Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm.
So we will be doing Heroes of the Storm tonight, and you guys can join us. We'll have some fun there, and obviously you guys are in the chat, and we'll be reading that, and you'll be hearing... Ranger, are you joining us today?
Absolutely.
So you can hear Ranger yelling as he runs away from Tyrael. You'll hear McVenom hopefully yelling at me just for being me.
Yeah.
You'll hear Ranger yelling at me for me being me. You'll hear Grim yelling at me.
All of us yelling at Finn if he increases the difficulty again.
And we will increase the difficulty!
Son of a bitch.
So we will.
I hate that crap, Finn. God. We don't even know, like, why are we getting destroyed right now? Well, I increase the level, guys, to like super hard because I think we can handle it. Finn, we're down 8-5. We'll make a comeback, guys. Let's get do it.
We won.
And then Finn will wonder why he gets lynched mob in April.
Hey.
Vimark wants to know what the game is about.
Oh, so Heroes of the Storm is a MOBA game, and essentially there's teams of 5, and we usually play against AI on the opposing team. And so your team of 5 basically has 3 lanes to go down, and basically you have to destroy their main tower in the back. And in between, in the lanes, there are different layers of other defense towers. And so you have to break through those towers and eventually get to the end. As you kill stuff, you get experience. And so you level up, you gain abilities on your character. There's little mini games in order to help you kind of push. Some of it's like collecting coins. Some of it's collecting like little shards. Some of it is defeating like these little mobs that show up. So there's all kind of little mini games that you play in order to help you kind of push. And the goal is just to kind of push to the other side and kill the final tower. Ooh, Hideous said he downloaded Heroes of the Storm. Yeah. Oh. So for you guys that don't know, it is a free game by Battle.net. We play on PC. So it is a Battle.net Blizzard game. It is free. If you want to pay, you can buy Vandy stuff, you can buy some characters, but nothing is required.
Yeah, you get to try out all the heroes.
Yep, every Tuesday they change your rotation of characters. So they have, I don't know how many, it's like 50 heroes or something like that. And every week you get access to like 10 of them. And they rotate which 10 you get access to free. And you can also like buy with the in-game currency that you receive, which is the gold. And you can buy to unlock characters and stuff. You can get free from loot boxes. I mean, it's basically again like a free-to-play game with options to pay, and the paying stuff is either characters or vanity. So it's a really cool game, actually.
No, we have fun with it.
Yes, we do.
All right, so there's that. So we'll have that tonight, and then. We have our Patreon. If you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do. We love all our Patreon supporters that keep us going. If you'd like to become a Patreon sponsor, we have all kinds of great options for you, from $5 to $25 to become a Patreon member. We get cool stuff if you become each level, and it's in their Patreon where it explains what each one gives you. And then we've got this ACS thing going on there, Dr. Finn, if you want to wrap up with that, and then we can end the stream.
Yeah, so we have 3 links in the description. The first one is Tiltify, and you guys can go on to the Tiltify page and have fun with all the different stuff that we have on there. We have different rewards, we have polls, and we have challenges. Some of the big stuff, so I'll just kind of summarize really quick, just the kind of the bigger things. In the rewards, we have the Stu Strong wristband. So if you want one of the official RSG campaign with the American Cancer Society wristbands, it is in the reward section. You guys can donate to the American Cancer Society, and we will send you one of those wristbands, and the mailings will begin in the middle of December. We have the polls. The polls some of them are linked to the challenges. So we have 3 different polls. You guys can read through it. 2 of them are for people Zeta-ing characters, assuming that the challenge gets filled. 1 is for me. And right now, Rose Tico is in the lead with 500, and Clone Wars Chewie is at 261. I really want to Zeta Clone Wars Chewie and not Rose Tico. So please help me out. We also have the other one for Warrior. So Warrior, who doesn't waste his Zetas at all, is willing to donate a Zeta for the cause here. And so there is a challenge in order to get him in order to Zeta a character. So that is in the challenges. So if you guys want Warrior to Zeta a character, which he never does, like even when Arnold had lost a bet and had to Zeta somebody, Warrior chose Wampa for him because he doesn't want anybody wasting Zetas. Like that's how much he believes in not wasting a Zeta. But for the American Cancer Society, he is willing to do it. So please donate to that challenge. That challenge is there. There's some other challenges as well, which include me wearing a silver wig with rhinestones and glitter for Kyrie, who is Dana's daughter. And make sure that you check out the site. So that's the Tiltify page. There is the American Cancer Society page. Ranger, do you want to get that audio queued up while I wrap it up? So we can end on the Kyrie audio?
Oh, yeah. I was pulling up the Tiltify page.
Okay.
So give me a second here.
Okay. So then there is the link directly to our ACS page. So the American Cancer Society has a page set up for us. for the Reality Skewed Gamers team, and we have that link in the description. And also, we also have the link to our website. Again, we have an actual website now. It's no longer Blogspot. It is realityskewedgamers.com. And so we have our own webpage. It is still under construction. We're building it out slowly because it's kind of on our free time that I'm trying to get this set up. So bear with me, but there is the links and everything that you need for our American Cancer Society stuff. So you guys can click on that and go to our page, and there is the kind of the first post on the page that will take you directly to all of the information. You guys can see Stu's story as well. If you don't know, Stu is one of the original members of RSG back when we were Real Sith the Genius. He was unfortunately diagnosed with thyroid cancer. He has been treated. Hopefully he will be in remission. He's going to have a check in a few months here, and hopefully he will be in remission, but he will need lifelong medications and testing and all of that. And so please make sure that you guys donate to that. There is you'll see the link through our website. There is a link to a hat that we have on Zazzle. It is the official RSG hat for our campaign, and proceeds from the sale of that hat, 50% will go to Stu to his GoFundMe, and 50% will go to the American Cancer Society. So we are seeing none of it. So when you guys buy that, whatever we quote unquote receive from Zazzle will be sent directly to ACS and to Stu's GoFundMe. So it is the first stitched hat for RSG. We had like the trucker printed hat, but Tits McVenom hated it, and so we had to go with a better style. It's a really, really cool hat. I'm waiting for mine to come in because I ordered mine a little while ago, and when it comes, we have a channel in our Discord in order to show your Stu Strong gear. And so when we get our Stu Strong gear, then there is a channel for you guys to post it, whether it's your hat, whether it's your wristband. We will be working on a shirt soon. Before we do the one with all the printed names and everything, we're going to have kind of a generic Stu Strong shirt that you guys can get in order to support. And then we'll have one with all the names and everything to commemorate the full occasion. And all of those are going to be limited time, by the way. So that hat will only be sold until we finish the half marathon. Then it will no longer be sold. So if you guys want the first RSG hat, as well as the RSG hat for the 2019 campaign for Stu Strong, make sure you go to our website and click on the link for the hat so you guys can order that. And I think if Ranger is ready with it, we will end with why you guys should donate to the challenge of me wearing a silver and white wig with glitter and rhinestones to a dinner that we will have with the ACS on the Friday night before the half marathon.
Okay, here we go.
What would you like Finity to do?
He needs to dye his hair silver with sparkles and glitter and little rhinestones. And he needs to dress up his pork. And he needs to put a little bow and glitter on his pork hat. And he needs to dress up his AK with sparkles.
And there you go. All right, so on behalf of myself,
so adorable.
She is. And on behalf of myself and the RSG crew, thank you guys for being here. Have a great rest of your day, and we will check you out tonight and check you back here tomorrow. Peace out.